this course was an eye-opener for me personally, because until then I was aware of climate resilient activities or the need to combat climate issues because of the upbringing or because of the exposure that I've had as a young person with the officials in the forest department, all the researchers who came here. And yes, indeed, my consciousness was always impacted by the need to work with the environment, the need to build community participation in conservation. So this is the premise in which I grew up. So and fundamentally, when I attended the course, although I just attended it to know if there is something that I can make use of in my community from the course, or if there is something that Manushi can take up. So my inspiration to do the course was to see if there is something that we can do. I was made aware of the fact that we need to work in sensitization campaigns, and we need to bring in women to the forefront of climate resilient activities, because only then can we produce a shift in the society. And I was really proud for a moment for me, because even before attending the course, that's exactly what we've been doing. We've been bringing in the women from the community into the forefront of sustainable practices, or promoting or creating sensitization campaigns. And for me, the major impact the course has had on me is how I can interact with the community and see for myself if I can build climate resilient agriculture practices in the community. So like I said, because my mother was working with the forest department, Periyar Tiger Reserve was awarded for its effective nature-based solutions and community participation model, where things like live fencing was done with the help of communities, and where we have also been associated with groups of women from the community coming in, saying that they will act as protectors, or they will work inside the forest for patrolling during the daytime, which is when particularly poachers come in to take sandalwood. So we've had really brilliant examples of where nature-based solutions involving the community has been done. Another thing that I've personally felt while we work in the community is that although we talk a lot about nature awareness in the media scale, but when we go into the community, people are still not very much aware of what they can do or what they should do. People know that plastic is bad, but what do we do? They don't know. So as someone working in the field, in the community, what I've understood is we need volunteers who will go and talk to people, because a policy level change will not yield unless there is participation. And in order to incorporate participation, we cannot do it as a large scale activity. We have to focus on small communities. We have to have individuals go to smaller groups of people, telling them what they can do, or just like what was given in the course, take in knowledge from them. For me, when I talk to the tribal communities that are here, they tell me about how they have had practices where they did not have to use inorganic fertilizers in the soil. They had their own methods of permaculture back in the time. So it is really important for us to see what sort of traditional wisdom we can use, what sort of agricultural practices or climate resilient activities that existed, because before we figured out how to build poly houses, there were communities that practiced climate resilient agriculture. There were millets being cultivated which were climate resilient. There were wild varieties of seeds which are still climate resilient. So how can we bring in to the forefront, how can we do our bit of research? So I think this is where, as someone working in the community, that I've felt we need to do a lot more of work. We need more manpower to see that we are investing in the right kind of knowledge, in the right kind of participation model. What I personally feel is that people should understand their individual actions count. Most of the time we believe that, can I make a change? Yes, you can. That's one thing people need to know. We might not be able to generate big policy level changes when we're working as individuals, but definitely we can make a difference to the community that is very closely related to us. Because for me, I am able to talk to the 10 people living around my house. I'm able to talk to the community that is in my Grama Panchayat, which is a small space, and I know them personally, or I can at least have contacts by which I can talk to them about these things. It's easy for me. I don't have to be employed as a social worker to do this. I work a 9 hours corporate job, and it's after that 9 hours I find time to do work in the field with my community, because this is important for me. This is pretty much a selfish activity also, because the environment that holds us all in place need to be preserved, and we have tools, we have the necessary tools by which individual lives can be transformed. When individual lives are transformed, definitely society as a whole changes. And for individual lives to be transformed, another individual is all that it takes. We need to understand that only when individuals realize that having a forest is what sustains them. If people don't realize it, no matter what level of policy changes that we bring in, if people don't realize it, if communities do not participate in this, then that will only remain in paper. If people have to function, if people have to see to it that it's their responsibility, or it's for them that they do this,